CM Punk is out in the ring and cuts a promo about how both of the men he's facing have too mmany emotions going into TLC, and since he's going in without any, he's got an advantage over both of them. He calls out his opponent but sobers up when Finley's music plays. This is a great 15-minute back and forth edge of your seater that sees Finley pick up the win when, while the ref is distracted, he clocks Punk with his shillelagh, much to the crowd's delight. Kane is stalking backstage when he comes across Batista. Dave stands his ground and says that come Sunday, he's going to beat his brother to a pulp and take his title. Kane says he doesn't care about Taker, but he does care that Batista attacked him 2 weeks ago and would like to see him try to finish the job. Batista just smiles and says, "All good things come to those who wait," and walks away. The next match is John Morrison taking on Drew McIntyre. It's a decent 10-minute match that sees Drew cheek to win. Afterwards, Vicky gets into the ring and tries to hug Drew, but he shrinks back and shakes his finger. Instead, he offers his hand to her, which she apprehensively accepts. Beth Phoenix is backstage getting ready for her match with Mickie James by her side. Mickie wishes her luck and says that she knows Beth won't need it. Beth smiles and says that she wanted the two of them to bring the house down with a great title match, but she'll bring the fight to Michelle. She asks if Mickie and John are getting serious, and Mickie playfully acts innocent. "Nah, we're just friends." With benefits. Beth laughs and asks if she'll come down to the ring with her, which Mickie agrees, and they leave. The next match is Beth Phoenix taking on Michelle McCool for the women's title. This is a good 10-minute match. Michelle tries to cheat at one point, but the ref catches her. Beth picks up the win, retaining her title, and she and Mickie celebrate in the ring. Josh Matthews tries to get a word from Matt Hardy on the way to his match, but Matt says he can't talk right now. Matt's music plays as he comes down and gets into the ring. He gets on the mic and says he can't wait to face Kane and Punk at TLC. He's going to prove he's a main eventer by becoming the #1 contender, and it all starts here tonight. When Chris Jericho's music plays, Matt remains stoic, though he has to feel a bit nervous. What we get is a great 10-minute match that sees Jericho pick up the win despite the crowd cheering Hardy on. Vicky is getting a drink from the refreshment table when Eric comes up to her and asks her if she saw his win earlier. She acts nonchalant and says she didn't. Eric says he has a theory on why he won. She's no longer with him! He thanks her for breaking off their relationship. He says it's the next best thing that's happened to him the past few weeks, his win being the best. He laughs and leaves the seething Vicky, who narrows her eyes as she watches him leave. Kane is out in the ring ready for his opponent when Batista's music plays. This is a decent strongman 15-minute match. Kane lets his emotions lead him through the match, causing him to make a few rookie mistakes that Dave takes advantage of. After a few near falls, Batista manages to get the pin. And the crowd boo! He gets on the mic post-match and calls out Undertaker while kicking at Kane. He says he'll keep at Kane until Undertaker comes out. After about 20 seconds, a bell tolls as the crowd explodes. Dave looks to the ramp, eager to take on Taker, but he doesn't come from the ramp. Instead, Taker slides in from just by the timekeeper table. Dave turns around only to get a clothesline from Undertaker. Taker starts to attack Dave, but Kane, now recuperated, pulls him away. The brothers stare each other down. This allows Batista to get back up, and as Kane backs out of the ring, Taker turns back around only to get a tackle from Batista. Dave leans down and picks up Taker's title and holds it over his head, and that's the last image we have. Finally, we come to the Tables, Ladders, and Chairs pay-per-view on Sunday, December 13th of 2009, which is actually today, and hopefully I get this done in time to watch it. We start off the pay-per-view with a bang with the first of two TLC matches, this one for the US title. Miz defending his title against Evan Bourne, Jack Swagger, and Sheamus. It's a brutal match, and they utilize the tables, ladders, and chairs to maximum effect. Ultimately, Sheamus climbs the ladder and pulls down the title, becoming the new US champion. The crowd boos, and the announcers question how many other title changes we're going to see tonight. We find out as William Regal defends his ECW title against Shelton Benjamin. This is a really great, fast-paced, mat-based wrestling match. No frills, just two men, one title, and one walks away with it. Unfortunately, it's William Regal. He retains the title, and the crowd boo again. Up next, we have the no disqualification #1 contenders triple threat between CM Punk, Kane, and Matt Hardy. This is a brutal match. They just all hate each other, and they go out of their way to punish each other. At one point, Kane's head gets busted open again and he starts bleeding. And then Kane sends Punk into a turnbuckle and he gets busted open. Matt goes on the attack but gets hit by Kane with one of the steel stairs and he gets busted open. It's just a bloody mess, all fun. And the crowd have the first cheer of the night as Matt Hardy gets the pin over Punk and becomes the #1 contender. After that, we have the WWE Tag Team title triple threat match between Mark Henry and MVP, Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and the Hart Dynasty, D.H. Smith and Tyson Kidd. Much like the match at Survivor Series, Mark Henry and MVP and Triple H and HBK are more about fighting each other than they are about pinning one of the Hart Dynasty, and that ultimately comes back to bite them, because Tyson Kidd gets the pin over Shawn Michaels, and the crowd is aghast. Surprisingly, they start to boo the Hart Dynasty. Michael Cole says that he's surprised that they're getting booed. Jerry Lawler just says that Triple H and HBK have yet again got screwed, this time by MVP and Mark Henry. After that, we have the second TLC match, this time for the Intercontinental title. Dolph Ziggler defends his title against John Morrison, Drew McIntyre, and Chris Jericho. Again, much like the first one, it is a brutal TLC match. They use tables, ladders, and chairs for maximum effect. They pull out some things that you haven't seen in a while and you didn't see in the first match. It really wows the crowd and gets them pumping, but the end sees the crowd booing as Dolph Ziggler climbs the ladder and pulls down his title. Up next, we have Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes in the Big Show taking on Kofi Kingston, Ted DiBiase, and John Cena in a 6-man tag match. It's given a decent amount of time so that all 6 men have at least a little bit of time in the ring. The end sees Big Show getting the pin over Kofi Kingston, and the crowd boo because the bad guys have won. Finally, we've come to the main event, Undertaker versus Batista for the World Heavyweight title. This is a no-nonsense 20-minute brawl between both men. The crowd is obviously on Taker's side, and they just, every time Dave gets the upper hand, they're chanting for Taker, and it just keeps him from falling victim to a pin by Batista. And finally, the crowd are cheering as Undertaker pins Batista for the 1, 2, 3, retaining his World Heavyweight title. The announcers thank everybody for tuning in, and I want to thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed my Road to TLC videos, and I hope the real TLC is just as good. Okay, so my booking wasn't that good, but you got to admit, for last-minute booking, it's pretty impressive. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And the next pay-per-view won't be last minute because I love what it is, the Royal Rumble. I'll see you then. Take care.